Hello friends, the government had taken important decision with regard to GST. The decisions are discussed in the GST Council concluded on 6th October. Let us discuss it one by one. First, composition scheme. So composition scheme is a very popular scheme among the taxpayers. Because of the simplified rules and regulation, composition scheme became a favorite among many taxpayers. So, in order to encourage composition scheme, the government has decided to increase the turnover limit from 75 lakhs to 1 crore. So, now the new turnover limit for composition scheme is 1 crore. This is for the normal states. So, there is a special category states which includes the northeastern states. For the northeastern states which are included in the special category states, the limit was initially 50 lakhs. Now it is increased to 75 lakhs. So for special category states, the limit is increased from 50 lakhs to 75 lakhs. But the two states, Jammu and Kashmir and Uttarakhand, which are included in the special category states, for those two states alone, the turnover limit for composition is increased to 1 crore. Now, you can go and avail this composition scheme up to 31st March. So, this composition scheme can be availed up to 31st March by the new taxpayers who want to register in GST as well as the existing GST taxpayers. So, the existing GST taxpayers who were already in the normal scheme can also opt for migration under composition scheme up to 31st March. The new persons who are going to register under GST also can opt for composition scheme under till 31st March. So, with regard to composition scheme, they have to file only one form, that is GSTR 4, form GSTR 4, and it is a simplified form, and they have to file this GSTR 4 only quarterly. So, if you are opting for the scheme in this month, for example, if you are opting for the composition scheme in this month of October, you will be included in the composition scheme from the beginning of next month. That is, from 1st November, you shall be fully operational from the composition scheme. So, whichever month you are opting for the composition scheme, from the first day of that next month, you will be included in composition scheme. So, the government is trying its level best to attract as many people as possible in the composition scheme. Now, under composition scheme, three categories of people were included, that is the manufacturers, traders and people who are running the restaurant services. So, what happened was that for those three categories of persons, composition scheme could be availed. For rest of the categories of persons, composition scheme could not be availed. But for availing the composition schemes, there were a lot of restrictions. And one among that was, if you provide any exempt service, for example, if you have deposited money in bank, you might receive interest. And that interest is an exempt service. And if you are providing any exempt service, then you would not be eligible for the composition scheme. This was the scheme earlier. So, for composition scheme people, they cannot go for composition scheme if they were involved in basic deposit in bank. If they were depositing in bank, they were automatically not eligible for the composition scheme. This was hampering lot of people because a deposit in bank for interest is a very common business scenario, and that could not be avoided. So, for composition scheme person, if they are receiving the interest, they could not opt for composition scheme, and this was a major hurdle. And therefore, this was escalated to the government, and the government is now provided relaxation. That is, those who are in the major categories, that is manufacturers, traders and the restaurant services, that is those people who are eligible for composition scheme, if they are providing any exempt services, if they are providing any kind of exempt services, then they will not be denied the benefits of composition scheme. If they are providing any exempt service along with their original business services, like manufacturing, trading and restaurant services, they will not be disallowed from opting for composition scheme. So now any people who have providing exempt service along with the other services which are eligible for the composition scheme, then they are still eligible for the composition scheme. This is a major benefit for the composition scheme people. Next, with regard to interstate sales. So there is a major relief provided for the small scale players. Initially for the interstate sales, the turnover limit was not applicable. So whosoever made the interstate sales have to compulsorily get GST registration. Now it is relaxed. For interstate sales, the threshold limit is fixed at 20 lakhs. If you are a small scale player and your total aggregate turnover is less than 20 lakhs and you make interstate sales, then you are exempt from getting GST registration. However, if your turnover limit exceeds 20 lakhs and you are making interstate sales, you automatically have to take registration. And then this is a major relief for the interstate sales suppliers. So only when the threshold limit is crossed, only then they are eligible for GST registration and for cases of interstate sales. Now another major relief is for the return filing. If the turnover of the registered persons do not exceed 1.5 crore, that is a limit fixed for the normal registered taxpayers. If their aggregate annual turnover, if it does not exceed 1.5 crore, then there is a major relief for the registered taxpayers. That is, they can file their GSTR 1, 2, 3 on a quarterly basis and they can pay their taxes also on the quarterly basis. This is going to be a major relief. So it is starting from October. So for the month of July, August and September, they have to do the monthly return filing. They have to pay the taxes also monthly. But starting from October, there is a relief in the form of quarterly filing, provided your annual turnover should not exceed 1.5 crore. If your turnover exceeds 1.5 crore, then automatically you should do monthly filing for GSTR 1, 2, 3. But if it is less than 1.5 crore, you can go for quarterly basis filing and quarterly basis taxes payment also. So for July, August, September, file the GSTR 1, 2, 3 monthly. But from October, you are going for the quarterly basis scheme if your turnover is less than 1.5 crore. So for October, November, December quarter, you will be paying the taxes on January as well as filing the return also on January. And with regard to GSTR 3B, they have continued this GSTR 3B till December. So GSTR 3B is filed till December month, and this is the form which has to be filed for all the taxpayers till December month. And next, for the month of August and September, the GSTR 1, 2, 3 dates, return filing dates will be announced shortly. And another major relief in the form of reverse charge mechanism. So for reverse charge mechanism, there are a lot of confusions going on. So they have given a relief in the form of reverse charge mechanism suspension. So till 31st March, reverse charge mechanism is suspended. After 31st March, the state of reverse charge mechanism will be assessed by the government, and the reverse charge mechanism procedure and principles will be announced thereafter. So till 31st March, no reverse charge mechanism. So this is going to benefit small scale businesses and also reducing the cost. Next, with regard to GST payment on advances. So it was earlier told that GST is even paid on advances. So for small scale dealers and small scale businessmen, this will be a major hurdle, because as soon as they receive advances, GST is immediately paid. So this has been relaxed for turnover up to 1.5 crore. Remember, only for turnover up to 1.5 crore, GST will not be paid on advances received. This is for only small scale and dealers and manufacturers up to a turnover limit of 1.5 crore. They need not pay GST on advances received. But for people whose turnover is greater than 1.5 crore, GST will be paid on advances. Next, with regard to goods transport agencies. For GTA was unwilling to provide service to unregistered person. So, unregistered person could not provide services through GTA. So, the GTA was refusing to take the goods of unregistered persons. Now, the government has made that for unregistered persons, if they want to avail the services of GTA, it is not at all a problem, because the services provided by the GTA to unregistered person will be exempt from GST. This is going to be a major relief. So, the GTA cannot demand for GST registration number from the unregistered person, because the service is going to be fully exempt from GST for unregistered person with regard to the GTA services. Next, TDS and TCS provisions. TDS provisions is with regard to contracts and TCS provision with regard to e-commerce operators. So, with regard to e-commerce operators and government contracts, the TDS and TCS provisions is further postponed till 31st March. So, till 31st March, no TDS and TCS provisions will be applicable under GST. Till that time, there is a relaxation. Next, with regard to e-way bill. So, e-way bill was, a lot of confusion was arising for e-way bill. Now, the government has announced that with effect from 1st January, e-way bill will be implemented and it will be completely rolled out from 1st April. So, till that time, no e-way bill. So, till 1st January 2018, no e-way bill, and from 1st April, e-way bill will be implemented totally. Till that time, there is a relaxation. Next, with regard to composition taxpayers. For composition taxpayers, GSTR 4 has to be filed quarterly, and under composition scheme, for the quarter July to September, the last date for filing GSTR 4 is extended to 15th November. And with regard to GSTR 6 for input service distributor, the date for GSTR 6 is further extended to 15th November. So, for GSTR 4 by composition scheme taxpayers, the last date for July to September quarter is 15th November. And for GSTR 6, the last date for the July to September quarter is 15th November. 15/11/2017, and there is some kind of relaxation for invoice rules also. If you like this video, please like this video and share it. Thank you.